back in.
Right.
But those levees are 15-year, they're lower in terms of levels of protection. And so as these waters, especially at the height of these waters, some of those are expected to overtop.
Right.
And so,
Right.
obviously there's many damage that's associated with that.
Right.
Align when you transition from the response aspects to the recovery aspects, it's a community effort, as you can see, in terms of folks on the ground, pitching in when necessary.
Right.
As we have linked with other communities, the Corps of Engineers as well as the Coast Guard and the National Guard and others are all pulling together to make sure that they're trying to keep all folks safe. That's the number one priority for the Corps, especially.
Right.
But as you can see here, we got a couple of engineers, our guys Don and Janet. They're integrated into this community here, and so they have an investment. They're vested interest in here as well, and so they're out here. As long as these folks are out here doing what's necessary, we should be keeping folks safe.
Right.
So if you don't have any questions.
They're not.
Okay, you're gonna stay here. So how many of your people, your folks?
So right now we have a total of about 60 folks that are activated in the floodplain. 23 of them are working on our headquarters in support of our emergency operations center, and then we have about 40 folks in the field in various areas along the Missouri, the Illinois, along the Mississippi, and various other communities.
Now, as I've been reading reports about the flooding, it sounds like Missouri's harder hit than Illinois. Is that right, or is that just where the reporting from? There's more flooding problems and more levee breaches in Missouri.
There's some significant impacts that's getting a lot of national attention, like Valley Park.
Yeah.
Was one of those areas that there was significant flooding. When you shutting down 55 and 44 and stuff like that, it tends to generate a whole bunch of attention. Yes,
Did they get more rain over on the Missouri side, or is it, or like, this just seems like they got harder hit? Did they get more low ground, or what?
Sure, I can't speak
Right.
to it. It all generates on where the rain falls and
Yeah, right.
and how the landscape is laid out in terms and where we have those sufficient levels of protection.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Are the levee heights coordinated around the different bodies of water? Are certain levees higher than others?
Yes, sir.
Around
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we don't. There are some levees throughout on Illinois side versus Missouri side. Is all based on the contours of the river, technically, I can't even speak to the engineering aspects of how we determine the
Right.
appropriate heights accordingly. But there's a hydraulics, there's modeling that is done. We got engineers, these smart engineers here that determine that over the course of time. They use all that wealth of experience and their forefathers and everyone that helped shape this. It goes well beyond me, sir.
Well, and where are you based?
Sir, I'm based out of headquarters out of St. Louis, downtown in the federal building. Sir.
Okay.
I occupy the 3rd and 4th floor. Got about 400 folks that are there, and the rest of the team is out at spaced at the 5 locks and dams that we have, and we're doing work throughout.
Any of your personnel down in Alexander County where it's coming over the big?
Yes, sir. We have southern
They call
area
it San Lee. What's the name of the?
down there.
Lens Mall.
Lens Mall.
Lens
Yes,
Mall.
sir. Actually, just flew over Lens Mall there to see where that overtopping is going. But yes, sir. We have.
The overtopping now is on the south end, more agricultural,
Yes,
so
sir.
far
Yes,
at
sir.
this point.
Yeah.
There's some starting to pop up on the north
In the
end
north
too.
as
It's
well.
just coming over.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
So is it still? Is the water still crested?
No, it's crested up in St. Louis and it's coming this
Working
way.
its down.
So, okay, so it's still rising.
Yeah, we expect a crest in Cape tomorrow afternoon.
And they've got another 1.5 foot to go down there.
Really? Wow. So the foot has to go, and it's already coming over the.
Already over the record down there, and another 1.5 foot down there.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And this is one of our, as I talked about, one of our smart engineering. This is
I'm Russell,
Russ-
I'm in the water
Russ-
management office.
He's one of our experts water gurus. That's John Piker's my deputy governor.
Civilian deputy for Colonel Mitchell.
Nice to meet you. So this, the height of the river down here and down in Alexander County is even higher than 93?
Down in the Cape and Caves area, yes.
Cape, it surpassed the 93 flood this morning.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, sir.
The Ohio River was lower at 93 and is 10 foot higher this year. So it's just the dynamics of the river is much higher this time, kind of coincidental flood.
Wow. Well,
That's why he travels with me, sir. For those tough questions.
So as the water's coming over the levee down there, it's good, how quickly does it cut
It's,
take off the levee, cut a big V in the levee and really?
it really depends on how much it's going over it. It's been coming over in sections, so it actually hasn't had a dynamic breach like you would see on, like we've seen here in the 93 floods. It's been slowly coming in. It's actually backed in from the Ohio River to start with. It's actually in the bend in the, you see that,
Oh, I
that
see,
shape down in the
yeah, yes,
southern Illinois?
right.
It's in that area there, so it's backed in from the Ohio to start with. And then now it's starting to come in with the headwaters coming out of the upper mist, so it shouldn't be as dynamic because that tailwater will come in there and it'll reduce the amount of damage, so.
And lead small is kind of an unusual levee because it's also considered a deflection levee because with the river moving around so much, so many curves, it also helps so that the river doesn't cut through the southern part of Illinois. So we would call it a deflection levee.
But now, with this over the top, it's gonna cut across, right? I mean, is it gonna get all the way over to,
But probably not.
no?
I don't think so. But
At the lens wall,
lead small, right?
Okay. there are some predictions that it would go as far as I-57 and potentially reconnect and butt up against the Cairo levee.
Right, right. Could be.
It is currently up against that levee right now. It overtopped in 2011, but it is
Oh,
it is
that's
lower than it was in 2011 down there. K River crested at 61.7, and it should be cresting at 56.5 this year, so it's
Wow.
lower in that area.
Wow.
But it's just more headwater flow coming out of that
pressure
mist.
coming in
Yes.
here for the vehicle levee, so.
Well, thank you for your work. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you volunteering, thank you.